What about in terms of like watching movies then throughout your life? What was your first favourite movie, if you can remember when you were wee?
Star Wars.
Okay,
Star
good.
Wars.
Now, what one was? Did you watch the first? Did you watch like A New Hope first, or was it?
Yeah. Aye, A New Hope. I remember seeing A New Hope on Betamax video in must have been about 1981, 1982.
Wow.
Um,
And
and
you've always been a fan.
aye, yeah. I kind of fell in love with Star Wars then. My doormat who took my front door is a Star Wars doormat and it says welcome to the dark side.
Very good. Very good. I see those things and I always say to myself, when, when I'm older, I'm going to get one of them. Gets to the stage now where I'm older and I should probably buy one. Do you remember the first time you ever went to the cinema? That's a question that I always bring up, and I just realised now I forgot to text you earlier on and tell you I was going to ask you this. But if you can remember off the top of your head, the first time you went to the cinema, or any early cinema memories?
I can't remember the first time I went to the cinema, but when I was about 12, I had a paper round in Greenock, and there were groupies who were paper boys who would all go to the Saturday afternoon matinees.
Right?
So you're talking about 1986 ish, and I remember seeing things like Brewster's Millions. I remember seeing the Return of the Jedi. What else? God, it was like every Saturday for months we used to
Yeah.
go. Um, but I
Yeah, I'm kind
did.
of in that routine now where like I'm trying to. Me and my mates have got those Cineworld Unlimited cards, so you
Yeah,
can just go and see whatever you want. And that's kind of the reason why we started this podcast years ago. But we kind of everyone kind of does their own thing now and is busy and stuff like that. But we used to have like every Thursday we would go to the cinema regardless of what was on. It could be like a big blockbuster that's just came out, or it could be something that we've never heard of. And we'll just see it. Back in the day where it was like just one film that was on in the cinema, and that was the film of the week, and you would just go and see whatever was on.
yeah,
So I try to treat it like that a wee bit. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of the decisions made for you. So now we've figured out that like Tuesdays are the kind of best day for us. So we've seen like things like the Batman. We saw Spider-Man late last year. These like big films, right? But then like last night we went to our Sunny World night on a Tuesday. We saw a film called X. Have you heard of this one?
no, no,
So me neither. And one of my favorite parts about going to the cinema is like, especially smaller films, is that like you're going to find ones that are like wee hidden gems. You
yeah,
know what I mean? That you've maybe not heard too much about. I don't like watching too many trailers and finding out too much about it because I like that kind of going in unknown. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like fully having that experience. So
definitely,
last night we saw this one called X. I'm looking at its IMDb page here, right? It says it's like a horror and a slasher film, and at first of all, I didn't even know it was a horror. I knew it was about. It's in 1979, and it's about a group of young filmmakers set to make adult films, and they go on to a farm to make these adult films,
yeah,
and the people who own the farm aren't happy with the fact they're making adult films. That's all I knew about it. So I thought it was going to be like a kind of American comedy, smut-based comedy. It
yeah,
turns out to be this absolutely mental horror film about these people who are making pornos, and like the people who own the farm like want to get involved, and it's like this. It's mental. I didn't expect it whatsoever. And it's by Ty West. Ty West. I don't know anything else about him. He did VHS. I don't know how it was a big film. He did The Resident, The Passage, The Exorcist, the remake of The Exorcist, and The Valley of the Shadows. These are quite big films, I suppose. But I just knew nothing about it, and I was pleasantly surprised. So there's one I'd recommend if you're looking to go to the cinema anytime soon. That was a good one.
it's something that I do now and again. I've not been to the cinema a lot over the last 2 years, obviously with the whole
Right, it's tough, right?
lockdowns carry on and stuff. But it was something that if I was at a loose end, obviously with student discount and stuff like that,
Aye,
or during the week where you can get into the view for like a fiver, I
aye.
would just pop along and much like you see what was on and
Anything, yeah.
but my last cinema experience, I went I went to the cinema on Valentine's Day on a date, um,
Nice.
and I let her pick the film, and I ended up watching Jennifer Lopez in Marry Me.
Now, again, I don't like watching trailers and stuff. All I saw was the poster, and I took one look at it and I said, I will not be seeing that one.
1 out of 10 would not recommend.
Oh, really?
For what it was, like a date night movie with a girl, I suppose. Yeah, but I would never have chosen it in a million years.
No. I mean, don't get me wrong. There has been some like films like that I thought I'm never going to see this or whatever, and then you end up going for one reason or another and going, "Oh, that was actually all right," but you're not going to recommend Marry Me.
No.
No. So I had to hear.